I think there's you know, a lot of great teaching in Naruto.
Fighting for what really matters and never giving up.
Within the context of a really exciting ninja, you know, battle saga.
Long ago, when the lands were at war, it was the hidden hand of the shinobi that often turned the tide of battle. Even today, as peace reigns, shinobi must continue to work behind the scenes, defending their lands and their people.
I think back to the outcast young boy who was pretty much an orphan, and within his own village he was misunderstood, he wasn't liked, and he really just wanted to fit in.
And as he grows and he gets older, he actually does start to really believe in himself and really understand what his talents and gifts are and understand the value of working for things.
In the beginning, when my character's first introduced and I meet Naruto, I just think he's a brat, and he seems to be fighting tooth and nail the idea that I'm even being considered to become the 5th Hokage, because he really wants to be Hokage. But for Naruto Uzumaki, it's not about being a hero. It's about training hard in the hopes of someday becoming Hokage.
He's learned that he doesn't have to, you know, be the prankster all the time to get attention and respect. He's learned, you know, about what is really important, friendship. And what do you do to protect that? You do anything to protect your friends.
You again.
To get him, you go through me!
With pleasure.
I think he starts to realize that he can't do everything on his own. And that sometimes the best way to achieve something is to believe in someone else. I mean, he never really did growing up. He didn't have anyone to believe in, where he was just learning everything for himself. And the more and more of that he did, I think the more he realized that, yeah, all right, I'm fine, but there's got to be something more than just me. It's got to be about these people who now believe in me.
I think the central theme of Naruto has evolved. Initially it was really about believing in yourself. That has evolved throughout the series to believe in your friends and believe in your team. I think we've seen that demonstrated in the TV series, but in movie 3, it's really clear. Believe in your friends.
Naruto is always about loyalty and friendship, and he really believes that anybody who throws away a comrade or disregards a friend is trash.
That does it! I've had it with you! So what if it causes an international incident? I don't care! It'll be worth it! Ugh!
Start a little smaller. That does it. I've had it with you, so that way you've got somewhere to go.
We face a lot of challenges when we dub something from Japanese into English, and one of the things is just the language.
It's rainy, you know.
I want you to come in early so you can have that little...
No! No! Forget it! Never! Not a chance!
I know, it's a hard one. That's okay, it's a hard one. The better the animation, the harder the sync is. So, no worries, no worries.
When I auditioned for Naruto, the voice kind of came to me. And I hadn't seen a rendering, but I read the description of his character. So, and then when I went to the callback, which is with all the producers and everybody, you know, from Viz and all over the place, I saw the rendering, and it kind of just hits you.
Is it good? What?
Naruto's first reaction to this child is, what a spoiled brat. I'm never going to be friends with this kid. But there's something about Naruto where he always gives people a second chance.
All I wanted was for you and Naruto to be my friends. I've never been able to make friends.
I don't know how.
Hikaru is such an interesting character because he really just goes through such a great character arc during the movie. He starts out being a very privileged, rich, spoiled little boy. Definitely he has grown up with a father that has taught him that money can pretty much buy anything. But he's very lonely. With all the money and all of the things that he has, he really doesn't have any friends. So there are some very touching scenes with Hikaru interacting with the animals and actually forming friendships with the little monkey and with the tiger because, you know, his money is just not working at all with the animals. It just has to be on a very pure, basic level of, will you be my friend? And if the animals like him, yes, we will be your friend.
I think it's really great in this movie how it's Naruto teaching, you know, how to persevere, how to keep going to someone else. Someone who's younger, someone who's kind of lost, and he's, you know, he's a spoiled brat, basically. So for Naruto to take on the role of mentor or teacher is kind of what this movie is about. And it's funny because it sort of echoes the relationship with maybe Kakashi and Naruto in the beginning of the series.
Kill them all!
All of you, get ready!
As we've progressed in the story, where we are now in the movie, he's much more of an older brother safety net kind of thing than a hands-on father, teacher, do it this way. They have enough knowledge, and he has enough trust and faith in them to let them really go and do their thing the way they do it, even if Naruto's way is sometimes insane. Naruto, crazy, Naruto. Kakashi's always there in case things go wrong to pick up the pieces.
What? Did you say something? I didn't quite catch that. Hey, you! I'm talking to you, you stuck-up little...
Calm down, you hear?
Here's this boy that's alone. His father just buys him everything he wants as a replacement for love. His mother can't deal with the father anymore, so she's out of the picture because the father has this huge belief that you can buy anybody or anything and you don't actually have to love someone, you just buy them something. So when he sees Naruto, he's just like, be my servant, be my vassal. Naruto really lays it on hard with this kid. He punches him a number of times and says, look, you can't look down on people. You can't treat people like trash. People are not disposable. Friends aren't disposable. And he pretty much gives up on him. And it's not till Hikaru figures it out for himself that Naruto turns around and says, then you and I will be friends forever. If you understand that, like it's obvious that you do, I'll never give up on you. I will never leave you as a friend. I will always be there for you if you need me. And that's the essence of who Naruto is.
From this day on, friends forever, no matter what.
We did that scene out of order. So for Kari to be able to sit down and do this scene under the stars, I thought was just genius. And I think, I mean, I wouldn't want to speak for her, but it seemed to me like she was tapping into that emotion for herself.
My grandfather was always kind to me. He made that bow for me. He always used to watch me practice.
Hikaru is definitely one of those characters that he's only acting the way that he's been taught to act by his father.
I'm the prince of the land of the moon. I'm Michiru. He loves to shop. This guy loves to shop. He loves to go a lot of places. He loves to shop. And as a result, he thinks that if I get you this right item, then you'll be my friend. He, in a sense, tries to buy his love from people. And he feels that possessions have more importance than perhaps people, relationships, feelings.
Oh.
And throughout this movie, he basically goes through a huge transformation. And by the end of it, he comes to realize what his father told him as he's dying, which is the most precious thing is not something you can buy or something you can give to someone, but it's actually the relationships that you have with people. Papa.
The main themes of this movie are are absolutely the same themes as the show. You know, it's all about believing in the person next to you, keeping your promises when you make a promise, believing in yourself and your ability to persevere no matter what happens, and being able to recognize what the right thing is to do and the wrong thing is to do, and then doing the right thing, having the courage to do the right thing.
You, Leaf Village Shinobi.
There's one gesture in the movie that is seen in the beginning and then throughout. At the end, it's in the scene under the stars, and it's also at the end. It includes Naruto and the prince through most of it, but then incorporates Hikaru's father, Prince Michiru, at the end. And it's the pinky swear. It's just sort of beautiful. And this very simple contact between these two little appendages runs so deep for Naruto. It's almost like a blood oath. It's something he will never renege on. It's something that he will always follow through with. And I think Hikaru learns that that's what's important in life. That's what's precious in life. But then everything goes terribly wrong.
Where is my father? Is something wrong? Why didn't he come?
The king, I'm afraid, is dead.
What?
He realizes the king wants to do good for the people. But basically his idea is, if they are poor, that's their fault. They should have done better. They should do better. But since they can't, well, I'll do better. The only people that are loyal to him are because he pays them.
Ishidate is extremely arrogant, and he just thinks nobody can beat him, that nobody's better at doing what he does than he is. He's being rather brutal, and yet he's still very much in control, and his voice is very modulated.
What a remarkable look on his face. I'd almost say I created a work of art. Almost. It's not quite right.
Naruto has all of his friends who come to his aid, and they fight with him, and they fight with him out of friendship and love and loyalty. Whereas Ishidate, he has the other henchmen that are with him, but everybody's paid. And at a certain point, Ishidate turns on his employer because he's, at that point, being driven by a much more powerful force, and that's revenge.
One of the most enjoyable parts for me was when he reveals who he really is in front of the prince. And he's saying that what really matters to him is money.
Money! Money is the only thing that counts!
And the prince even says, "You killed my father for money?" And it's like, yes.
My character, as you know, is near death. Shabadaba Doobie, as I like to call him, has got him up on a platform, and his hands are tied behind his back. He's got a noose around his neck. It's very good, the bad, and the ugly, you know. Ah!
My father will be killed. It's too late to save him now.
So this child, you know, he's just a child. He's got to have his own new belief reinforced once again about things that are precious to him, about things that he loves, about how to treat people and maintain friends, all over again through the second half of the movie. Naruto really comes down on Hikaru for not being strong enough and brave enough and saying, look, this is terrible, what's happening, but are you going to let him die? Are you just going to abandon him? That's what this is about. That's the lesson. It's when things go wrong, it's when things are at their worst, what is your reaction to this? You can say on the boat when everything's nice and happy, yes, I'm sorry, Chamu, I'm sorry, Kiki, and Naruto, let's be friends forever. But it's when your friends or your parents or your family is in danger, it's how you react then, or how you act then, is really what defines you.
Father!
Hikaru!
Hikaru's just a child. I mean, he's terrified. It's a lot to put on a child. It's a pretty intense situation for a child to be in. Naruto knows that he's asking a lot of him, but he also really believes that he can do this. And in the end, he's right. Hikaru can do this. He is strong enough to face this feeling and to face these villains and to save his father.
Hikaru?
Father.
I think the real challenge in ADR acting is because you got to lift it off the page immediately. The actors don't get to read anything before they come in, and they don't get to see what we're actually recording until, you know, we've got the preview and go. So to have an actors come in the booth and be able to lift something off the page, inhabit it, that one line with all of that, but just sort of casually throw it out there. That's a little moment of brilliance.
This chapter of Naruto is ending, and when he comes back, he's older, and he's, you know, more of a grown-up. He's got some different things going on, so it's sort of like saying goodbye to an old friend. And then we're gonna see this kind of the new, improved, stronger, older Naruto, which, you know, again, people are gonna love.
When Naruto comes back in the Shippuden, it's 3 years later and he's been out training with Jiraiya. He wants to save his friend. You know, that's the most important thing to him, is that he believes that Sasuke was taken from him, didn't want to go to Orochimaru, that Orochimaru was holding him captive. And I think coming up, once he realizes that that's not the case, Sasuke went on his own volition. He wants the power. The only thing Sasuke wants is to kill his brother, and that's it. And I think when Naruto starts to realize that, it's really difficult for him. He's really in denial. I think that sort of shakes him to his core. So we'll see what happens as the series goes along, how he deals with that. I know he'll continue to deny it. No, Sasuke's my friend, but I have a feeling he's going to be in for some real pain, real emotional pain, when he realizes that Sasuke's got a whole different agenda.